Greetings, friends. It's Pat with another episode of Let's Talk Travel. We appreciate your tuning in. We particularly appreciate our regular listeners who are here week after week after week. And so many of you I know come in after the fact. You're not listening to us live. We are always glad you are out there too. But we're going to, if you're on here live, you want to stay with us because we're going to have a drawing and we're going to give away something. I don't think I've ever given one of these particular items away. So if you're a regular listener, hang in there. You might want one of these little gadgets. It's handy dandy. Tonight, I am very excited because we are introducing two of our own agents here from Dancing Moon Travel. And they are joining us this evening, and they are going to be talking about the great opportunity they had recently. They both were on the same river cruise, and not just any garden variety river cruise, folks. They were on a Uniworld river cruise. Even better, it was an amazing Christmas markets Uniworld cruise. So with all of that, there is so much for us to talk about on this topic, and let's just dive in. I'm going to start with our most senior agent, who I just took off of the stream. I didn't mean to blip you out, Joanne. I'm just introducing you, and I made the wrong click. But Joanne is our most senior agent here, besides myself, with Dancing Moon Travel. And Kathy joined when she came on board. She joined us with a couple of years of experience. So she's our newest agent. So we've got our most senior and our newest agent. But Joanne, I'm going to give you, since you have seniority here, I'm going to give you the first crack at my questions. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your experience on sailing with Uniworld?
A 10.
A 10. So I guess you kind of liked it. Kathy, would you agree?
Oh, yes. 10 plus. It was really a week of just magic. We had so much fun. Joanne and I hung out a little bit together and just had a ball together.
I absolutely love it. Let's break things down a little bit. Joanne, let's start. If you could, well, first, I want you guys to start. Tell us a little bit. Joanne, you start in. I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're located, a little bit about your background.
I'm located in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I have been with Pat in the travel for almost 5 years now. It'll be 5 years in July. I'm a nurse background, but love doing the travel.
Okay, what about you?
Travel with clients also. So
absolutely, Kathy. What about you?
I started in the travel business 2018, and then was fortunate enough to join up with Pat about a year ago, and really enjoy working at Dancing Moon Travel. It's a really good fit for me.
Oh, good. Well, you guys are a really good fit for us too. Just absolutely the kind of people that I love to work with. And life is too short to work with people that you don't enjoy working with. And that's just the bottom line, folks. Look, getting back to the cruise. Joanne, tell us about the ship. What vessel were you on, and what did you think about the shipboard decor and the general ambiance?
We were on the Maria Theresa. It was Uniworld's one of their fleet, all set in Baroque. Maria Theresa was Marie Antoinette's mom. So it was set way back, in that time. Elegance. I can actually forward you some pictures that I have, Pat, that you might be able to share with the group at a later point in time. All of the staterooms were different. They had like old time, way back the Baroque era, curtains, and the furniture was set that way. It was just phenomenal. And everybody and everything there was wonderful.
That's one of the things I love about Uniworld. none of the ships are alike. They decorate, each one of them is unique. And even the staterooms, they don't have like cookie cutter staterooms. They're all a little bit different. That is so cool. And it takes, yeah, go ahead.
I love the fact that the bathroom floor had a warmer in it. So you could flip the switch so each time you had to go into the bathroom. And it also had a towel warmer. So, you know, when you got out of the shower, your feet were nice and toasty warm along with the towel. So.
Oh, wow. I love that. So they paid attention to a lot of detail, and definitely the higher end luxury features that you wouldn't expect necessarily. Kathy, what about the service on board? Was the staff attentive and look after you well, or any shortcomings? What was it like?
I don't even know where to start with that question. The service was impeccable. The steward cleaned your room twice a day. There was always candy treats for you, polished everything up. The bathroom literally shined every day. Within a couple days into the cruise, you knew the waiters. They kind of worked together. It was such a small group of people on board, but you know, the wait staff knew your name, and just there was one waiter in particular that brought a smile to my face every single day. So I was very, very impressed with the service on board.
That's great. You know, and sometimes some of the memories we look back on cruises from years ago, and we still remember particular waiters or room stewards who just, you know, we connected with, and they added so much, and that's just something that you find a lot when you travel like this. And I'm going to do a little educational moment here, but just to give our viewers a little understanding of the features that differentiate providers in the river cruise industry. The two major points are the number of passengers that they put on board, and the other one is the level of inclusiveness. Now, folks, I'm just going to tell you, there is no such thing really out there as a bad river cruise provider. They are all excellent from the entry level on up. They're just differences, and it's a matchmaking process, matching people's preferences and budget and needs. It's very much like the ocean going vessels. You want to pick the right one for the specific client. Now, the entry level brand, who you all would know, it starts with a V, and they have a huge advertising budget. They'll have as many as 190 people on board the same size vessel, because they have to fit through the European lock, so their vessels can only be so big. Others will have as few as 130 on the same size vessel. So Uniworld, being one of the top level providers, typically with about 120 people on board at max capacity. So in addition to more spacious staterooms, you have a lot more elbow room in the public venues as well. You don't feel like you're stuffed in elbow to elbow with people. Kathy, with one major point, getting to the other point of differentiation, boy, that's a big mouthful, the inclusiveness. Can you kind of outline for us some of what was included with your cruise experience on Uniworld?
Yeah, that's the best part of Uniworld. Pretty much everything is included. Your gratuities are all in there. Beverage, you can drink pretty much anything you want 24/7. High-end spirits, high-end wine, soda. There's tea time every day. The excursions are all included also. And at most ports, you can pick what excursion you want to go to. There were, I think, Joanne, about 3 excursions that were extra if you chose to do them. Yeah, it's the inclusiveness of Uniworld is one of my favorite things about them. Just everything basically is included, and it really cuts down on costs at the end of the week.
Yeah, so I guess you notice something like that when you settle your onboard account at the end of the week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Now, with any cruise, itinerary, always a huge part of the experience. Joanne, can you give us an overview of the itinerary you sailed on?
Yeah, we started out in Passau, Germany, then went to Linz, and one of the extras was going to Salzburg. So that was an excursion that we took, and we were able to go to see the Alps and where The Sound of Music was made. There we go. Then from there we went to I got to think. Oh, Vienna, and then to Bratislava, and then to Budapest. And we stayed in Budapest for 2 days. And each port, if you want to say that with the marketplaces that were there, was just amazing. I'd never seen anything like that before. It was the first time for me for marketplaces and a river cruise. And everybody, you could get anything from hot chocolate to heated hot wine to whatever kind of food the country had. You could get different Christmas ornaments. It was just amazing. And no matter where you went, there was not a disappointment. Yep. There we are in some of the marketplaces there. I think the biggest thing for me was at nighttime, there were too many people.
Yeah, I guess that
Too many people.
The locals are out shopping for their Christmas.
Yeah. It reminded me of Disney World, where everybody gets in there and there's so many people. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll go during the day. It's fine.
What about excursions, Kathy? Really those experiences during a cruise or any kind of trip, those are the memory makers. Were there any that stood out? I love that Uniworld has so many choices.
I love the Christmas markets. I got so much into the Christmas spirit this year because of the Christmas markets. And your pictures, Joanne, brought really a lot of good memories back. Boy, I loved at every Christmas market, you were given a cup and you paid a little bit of money for the cup, and you could drink, hot chocolate in the cup, mulled wine in the cup. And if you wanted to, you could return the cup at the end and get your money back. But I saved mine at all the Christmas markets and brought them home to bring my memories back home too.
What an amazing souvenir.
That was kind of fun.
I just love these pictures that you gals had posted. These are your pictures. These aren't something that I pulled out of a magazine. These are the pictures that you took during this particular trip. Joanne, any favorite excursion that you did?
We had a 7-piece orchestra and opera singers, and that was to me the best.
Okay, was that in Vienna by chance?
Yes, it was.
Okay, just kind of taking a guess. I figured there or Budapest, probably.
Yep, it was in Vienna.
Okay. Any lifetime memories that you think you have brought home with you from this?
All of them. I mean, just everything was amazing. It was like here, I mean, going into Budapest and seeing the parliament, that was just amazing too.
Now, did you guys get to go in the parliament building?
No.
Okay. I don't know that they actually do tours of that, but folks, you see, I don't have a picture of that to display, but that is one of the iconic pictures that you see on the cover of every brochure ever printed by these river cruise countries, because it is just such a stunning piece of architecture. People say, "Oh, where is that building? It's gorgeous." I actually have one where I was on a river cruise and managed to get a selfie as we sailed by the building. Yeah, but good. Gals, you know me, and I am not going to get through this interview without talking about the dining experience. Kathy, you start us off. How was the food, and did you happen to notice whether maybe the guests or the staff accommodated any special needs?
Boy, well, they really, really he basically asked you every single meal if there were any food allergies. And I knew there were some gluten intolerant people on board, and you were one of them, huh, Joanne? And they were very conscious of that. I really appreciated that. I don't have any allergies myself, but I did notice that was a good thing for them to do. The food was just amazing. I can't even tell you. I ate so much that week. 3 meals a day. The breakfast was a buffet, and there was more food than you can even imagine.
Yeah. And a lot of times, I just imagine, I didn't get to be there, but I know that typically the river cruises will reflect the area where you're cruising. So you'll have some of the dinners will feature not only local cuisine favorites, but regional wines that you can't get in the U.S. because they're only produced a few thousand bottles.
Mm-hmm.
So really good. Joanne, could you fill us in? You raised your hand that you have some allergies. Tell us about how, because we have a lot of clients, frankly, who have concerns. They have some very serious allergies. So how did they do on that score?
I happened to run into the maitre d' the first day that we were there, and we were talking about different foods and things. And he said, "Oh, I'm the person that you need to speak with." And I told him that I had a gluten, I needed to be gluten free. And he said, okay. Told him afterwards about shellfish allergies and all. Every meal, including the buffets, he met me at the buffet and or at the table and went over the menu and what was out there to tell me what I could have and what I couldn't. And every meal except breakfast, of course, I had a gluten-free dessert that they made specifically for me.
Oh, geez, Joanne.
Yeah. I was just, I thought, how cool is this?
Yeah.
Where would you go? And he was there every meal and with the menu at dinner. And he was just, I can't say enough about this staff and Uniworld, period. So
that is great. I mean, they are just an icon in the industry, and we have some amazing client experiences on Uniworld as well. What about gals? What about the dress code? Daytime, evening? Do you need to take formal wear?
No. That's one misconception about river cruising is it's all fancy dancy and ties and glittery dresses for dinner, and it really isn't that. I think there were some people that did dress up, but there was people that were kind of mid-level and some people that were casual. I felt everybody accepted how everybody else wanted to dress. I thought it was wonderful, real casual.
Good, because there were times in my life where I enjoyed getting the formal wear out and things, and frankly, I've kind of gotten past that. I've done it so often. I've taken so many cruises where we pulled out, all of the formal wear, and the Marvin had his tuxedo and everything. But it's gotten to the point now that I'd rather just be, I put on my black slacks and a top with a bit of bling to it, and I'll call it formal.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they say, business casual, not upscaled, fancy. You can't wear shorts, of course, or anything like that, or flip-flops or, that kind of thing. They frown kind of upon that, but none of this formal stuff. Yeah. It's like, and it's really nice.
That's kind of disrespectful to me. Mm-hmm. when you have an upscale cruise line like Uniworld. I can't imagine that someone would want to come wandering into the evening dining venue wearing flip-flops and cutoffs. That's disrespectful. It's not even self-respecting to do that. It's like you dress like you would if you were going out to a nicer place here in town, and make sure you're clean and pressed and so forth. So, gals, what surprised you about the trip? Anything, and it can be good or bad, whatever, but anything that you really weren't expecting?
I was really worried about getting cold. Now, granted, I didn't hang out on the top deck of the ship very much, especially at nighttime, because it was pretty chilly up there. But I dressed properly and I did not get cold. I was, I was surprised about that.
Okay.
I love the weather.
I didn't even ask this question, but what was the weather like while you were there?
Cold. It was cold. It was like 32 degrees, but there was a wind. So I think, we all had decided, I think beforehand, that we would just layer, and then you're able to peel it off. I think my recommendation would be to make sure you have a really good pair of gloves to keep your hands warm, and probably thermal socks for your feet.
Okay. And make sure you have a hat, scarf.
I didn't bring a coat. I totally didn't even think about bringing a jacket. And then I got, because I had gone beforehand, and I happened to be in Amsterdam, and I'm like, it's, walking around Paris and it's freezing cold with this little thing on. And I'm like, no. So I had to buy a coat. So at least I was prepared when I got on the cruise.
Okay, so folks, you should be glad you listened, because if you book a Christmas market cruise with any provider out there, be sure you have appropriate outerwear and the proper accessories in the way of gloves and mittens and hats and so forth. Okay. All right. We'll forgive you for that, Joanne.
Thank you.
Folks, even us travel agents sometimes, we're so busy advising other people sometimes that we forget to take care of our. I'm always the last to book my insurance and take care of those final details, because I'm hurting everybody else and making sure they have done everything they should do. But Joanne, any surprises for you that you weren't expecting, other than the fact that it was chilly and you needed a coat?
No, honestly, Pat, everything was a surprise, because I'd never been there. I'd never been to Europe in that area. I'd never been on a river cruise before. So everything was a surprise, but they were all pleasant. They were wonderful surprises, definitely memories.
Okay. What about challenges? Were there any challenges that had an impact on your trip?
Just the fact that there were a lot of hills. So if you have anyone who wants to do this, have them make sure they either bring their cane to be able to assist them, or the front desk actually has walking sticks. So that's a good thing to know also when booking river cruises, that Uniworld has walking sticks for the people that have difficulty with walking.
And folks, it's a fact of Europe. The ADA has not made it over there for the most part. You have. Go ahead, Joanne.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to interject this. When they had their excursions and they would take us into town, they had different groups. So they had gentle walkers. They called us people that couldn't walk very well, gentle walkers. And so they put us in that one group, and then they had the expert walkers in another. They had like 5 or 6 different groups. So each one had a little different itinerary, but we all went the same place, if that makes sense.
It does. You took a little longer to get there. And this is true about Europe. Cobblestones, lack of curb cuts, or not a lot. You need to be, so you may, if you're a little wobbly, take up on that cane. Take it with you, whatever you need to be secure. And the river cruise market, folks, just to bring that in, if you are a slow walker, a gentle walker, absolutely fine. That's a great fit. But if you have significant challenges and use a scooter or a wheelchair, something like that, they are just not very suitable, just due to the fact that, well, there are several different reasons, but just getting around off of the European river cruises. Not a good fit if you have significant mobility limitations. Slight to moderate, you can be accommodated very easily. But just being upfront and honest with you, if you have major challenges in that department, we'll help you find something else other than the river cruise to do your trip. Always a telling question, ladies, and I can't imagine I don't already know the answer to this one, but would there be any hesitation in doing another replay, something similar to this again?
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm ready to sign me up. It's such a beautiful way to travel.
Yeah.
Just in the summertime would be fun, to experience
yes.
that top deck a little bit more, watch the scenery. So
yeah, there's so much you've heard so much here about the benefits of a river cruise. Such convenience. It's much more like having a floating hotel delivering you to a different city each night while you're sleeping than it is like taking an ocean going voyage. It's very, very different. There's hardly a better way to see Europe. Such a convenience. You get in, settle in, unpack, and just enjoy your trip. You're not schlepping your luggage around all over Europe and making early calls for a motor coach that's leaving with 50 of your best new friends out there. So I really, really love the river cruise for seeing the interior of Europe. Great option, particularly at the Christmas market time. Even if you've done a river cruise before, the Christmas market's a whole different ballgame. So think about that one. Ladies, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Love you gals. You're just so great. We're so glad you're part of the Dancing Moon family. And then so appreciate your taking the time to share your experience on Uniworld, Christmas markets, cruise. And Kathy?
yes.
Tell me real fast here now, how can people get a hold of you if they want to book a river cruise?
They can reach me at my email at Kathy, Kathy, at dancingmoontravel.com.
Okay. And what about you, Joanne? If somebody wants to reach you to book, if we've got people that want to reach Joanne, I'm trying to display this, and I'm not getting a lot of cooperation here, but Joanne, how do people get a hold of you?
It would be Joanne at dancingmoontravel.com. And my cell phone number is 828-406-4342.
Okay, just like my banner says there, I finally was able to get that. I didn't hook my mouse up, and I was really struggling here on this little pad to try to do this with my finger. It just wasn't wanting to work very well. And now, folks, I forgot this, and I have to apologize because of last week. I forgot to give away a prize. So I make sure that I don't do that. I'm giving away this week one of our live listeners, just live. You've got to be tuning in live. I want you to enter the two words, Uniworld, Uniworld, Christmas. So Uniworld Christmas. And we're going to draw our live listeners to get this handy dandy luggage scale. And if you've ever shown up at the airport and been 2 pounds over the weight on your luggage, it had to be one of those people. And folks, I've been guilty. It's happened to me. So having one of these great little digital luggage scales is great. So Uniworld Christmas are the 2 words I want in the comments section if you're listening live tonight, and somebody is going to win that handy dandy useful little tool. Ladies, thank you again, and thanks again to our listeners. We are so glad to have you out there and appreciate you so much. So we're going to log off now, but we'll be back again next week with another great episode of Let's Talk Travel. Bye, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bye. Happy New Year.